The wide receiver market finally finds some traction in NFL free agency as we had Robby Anderson sign with the Carolina Panthers and Breshad Perriman sign with the New York Jets. What is going on, y'all? 5 Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL. And if you're new to the channel, this is the place for NFL analysis. You are not going to want to tune out of here. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe. And go ahead and turn on my post notifications by clicking the bell icon down below. And follow me, guys, on my social media to keep up with all of the latest updates and my tweets and reactions and analysis. Links down below and on the screen for that. So let's talk about these signings. And let's talk about if they're a good fit or not and how I feel overall. So I've been covering NFL free agency, obviously, since it started this offseason. And one thing I had mentioned to you guys was how surprised I was at how dry the NFL market had been for wide receivers. We didn't really have any notable wide receivers sign. And so finally, I know I'm a little late, but finally we do get the top receiver on the market, Robby Anderson, if you could believe it. He was the top receiver, finally signed a contract, and same thing with Breshad Perriman, who was also one of the top receivers in the market. Obviously, not saying much in terms of how great the market was. But point being is the fact that it took this long was really surprising to me. But let's talk about the deals. We'll start with Robby Anderson first, and then I'll move on to Breshad Perriman. So Robby Anderson signs a 2-year, $20 million deal with the Carolina Panthers. I believe $12 million guaranteed in the first year. And I got to tell you, I like this deal a lot. The Panthers are really making some nice, solid moves. And I told you guys this, and I'm so glad that people are realizing this now. The Panthers aren't rebuilding. They are retooling, okay? When they signed Teddy Bridgewater, that indicated to me they're not trying to rebuild, because if they were rebuilding, then you would have had to put Christian McCaffrey on the trading block, you know? And that wouldn't have been obviously good. So now you got Teddy Bridgewater, Christian McCaffrey. You already have DJ Moore, who's a stud. And now you add and pair him with the Robby Anderson. And not to mention, you still have Curtis Samuel, who is underrated as well. So I really like what Carolina is doing here. And as far as the contract itself, I mean, it's fairly cheap. I mean, Robby Anderson, I know a lot of people don't really pay attention too much to, the lower tier receivers, if you will. But Robby Anderson, he's one of the better deep threats in the NFL, was the number 1 receiver for the Jets last season, if you can believe it. And so if the Jets offense was even, remotely functional, he would have been over 1,000 yards, I believe. It still got to about close to 800, 779, something around there. But yeah, he's a great deep threat. So you'll have DJ Moore kind of take up the intermediate game, and then Robby Anderson, Teddy Bridgewater can hit him for deep. So the Panthers are really building a solid squad there. The NFC South is going to be an absolute bloodbath, okay? Now let's move on to Breshad Perriman. So Perriman goes to Robby Anderson's former team in the New York Jets, and he replaces Robby Anderson. Now, that is obviously a downgrade here because Breshad Perriman is not as talented, but he is still underrated, folks, because here's the thing. When Mike Evans went down last season, at the back end of last season, Breshad Perriman had some great games. I mean, he balled out. A couple 100-yard games, and he was doing very well. And with the Jets, obviously now, they don't really have a number 1 receiver. My guess is they'll draft one in the NFL draft, but they've got Jamison Crowder. You got guys like Chris Herndon. I mean, really don't have too many weapons. And so now Breshad Perriman, I think, has a legitimate shot here to be at worst, a number 3, potentially number 2. So I really like this signing because it's low risk, high reward. Again, 1-year deals. I love one-year deals. And $8 million, I believe $6 million of that $8 million is only guaranteed. So I have no issues with the signing. I think it's very solid. Jets need a receiver. He's going to get opportunities. So it's a solid fit both ways. So I'm a fan of it, and I don't think this is going to stop him from taking a receiver, but I like it. So I like both the signings, Robby Anderson and Breshad Perriman. Let me know what you guys think of the signings. Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree. As always, thanks for watching.